you're playing GTA Online right now and you don't own the Meth Lab, this might genuinely be one of the best weeks Rockstar has ever given you to buy it. The actual property and all the upgrades are currently discounted, and the product is also selling for double money, so now's the best time to use this business. And if you already own one, you should absolutely be stacking up your product and selling it before this week ends. A lot of players are confused, a lot of misinformation is going around, so let me clear everything up for you right now and show you exactly why the Meth Lab is insanely good this week, how the bonuses actually work, and whether it's worth buying or upgrading today. Right now, Meth sell missions are paying double money. That means when you go into your MC Meth business and start a sell mission, the payout you receive at the end is double. Production speed is normal, supplies are normal, but the sell value is multiplied by 2. On top of that, Meth sell goods through the nightclub are also paying double, so if you own the nightclub and have Meth linked, you're stacking bonuses on top of bonuses. This alone makes it one of the best businesses this week, but here's where it gets even better. Okay, so to start up your business, you want to make sure you have an MC clubhouse. You can choose any you like, but one of the most popular ones is this one in the city. Once you found the one you like, it's time for the upgrades. None of these upgrades really matter, but the gun locker is useful if you don't have it anywhere else, and the bike workshop is the only upgrade I would recommend. Once you bought the clubhouse, find it on the map and enter it. You should get a little cutscene and then walk over to this laptop in the office. When you enter the laptop, you should get a full list of all the different businesses you can purchase, but in this video we're focusing on this one. For the location, the Grand Scenario Desert is one of the best because it's the cheapest price that helps you make the most profit, or if you've got money to spend, you could go with anyone you like. I'm gonna go with this one. So when you've chosen your business, drive to the location and enter it. You might get a little cutscene on your first time entering. After that, walk up to the laptop and get the business set up. To set up the business, all you need to do is complete the setup mission. So for me, I need to drive to the location, have a bar fight, and then collect the supplies and deliver them back. Your setup mission might be a little different to mine, but the idea is the same. When you're back at your lab, you should get this intro to the lab and how production works. Once you've loaded in, you should see these at the bottom. You have product value, actual amount of product, and the amount of supplies to help you keep track of everything. For supplies, you've got two options, buying them or stealing them. For your first setup, stealing the supplies gave you a full 5 bars, but that's not the case for the rest of the steal missions. After the setup, you don't get near as much. Buying supplies is only worth it if you have the upgrades and when it's double pay week like this week. For anyone else, stealing supplies would help you make the most profit. Now, let's talk about whether the upgrades are worth it. Because upgrades are 40% off, this is the best possible time to buy them if you don't already have them. The equipment upgrade and the staff upgrade directly increase production efficiency and value. Even though production speed itself isn't double this week, having upgrades mean you'll fill your stock faster and earn more supply. And since you're selling for double money, those upgrades pay for themselves extremely quickly. A lot of the confusion around the Meth Lab comes from people comparing completely different setups. The Reddit calculations everyone shares are based on a fully upgraded Meth Lab, meaning both staff and equipment upgrades, and they also assume you're buying supplies at the standard $75,000 per resupply, not stealing them. Without those upgrades, the Meth Lab performs way worse, supplies burn faster, production is slower, and payouts look terrible, which is why new players see tiny numbers like 10 or 15,000 and think the business is broken. With full upgrades, the math changes. On a normal week, a fully upgraded Meth Lab sells for about 280,000 locally or 375,000 remotely, with a profit rate of roughly 50,000 per hour when buying supplies. That's what the spreadsheets are showing. The security upgrade isn't included in those numbers because it doesn't affect your production or your payout, but it is kind of useful now with the mansion update. If you have security in your business and you have security at your mansion, you completely eliminate the chances of getting raided, which might be useful. Now this week is different. Meth sell missions are paying double money, so those same upgraded payouts jump to around $470,000 locally or over 700,000 remotely per full sale. On top of that, the Meth Lab and its upgrades are 40% off, meaning you're paying less upfront while selling for double. So if you've upgraded, this is one of the best weeks to run Meth, and if you're not, this is one of the best weeks to buy and upgrade it. When to actually sell. This is actually the most boring part of the whole business if you do it wrong. To make sure you get the easiest sell missions as possible, you want to make sure you sell before you've got a bar and a half of product. This stops you from getting those long and boring 2-vehicle sell missions. So to get the fastest 1-vehicle sell mission, all you need to do is sell before you get a bar and a half of product, or you might end up falling asleep trying to sell your product. If you also own a nightclub, things get even better. Pharmaceutical goods processed through the nightclub are paying double. This means you can sell your Meth Lab stock and then sell your nightclub stock and get double payouts on both. This is the easiest and the fastest way to stack money without doing any heist, races or PvP content. It's passive income turned into active profit. A lot of players ask whether it's worth buying the Meth Lab if they're a solo player? The answer this week is yes. Even solo players, the payouts are strong enough that the occasional multi-vehicle sale is still worth it. If you get a bad sell mission, you can always change sessions and lose a small amount of stock, but with double money active, you still come out ahead compared to selling on a normal week. Location also matters. If you're buying a Meth lab, you want a location that makes sell missions easier and faster. Central locations reduce travel time, reduce risk, and make solo sales more manageable. Since the property is discounted, this is also a good time to relocate. If you already have a bad location, you're essentially fixing a long-term problem at reduced cost while profits are boosted. Now, let's be very clear about one thing. This is where people get confused. Production is not doubled, supplies is not doubled, only the sell payout is doubled. This is still extremely strong because selling is where the money is made. As long as you manage supplies, property, and don't let your stock sit full for too long, you're maximizing efficiency. Another important thing to mention is that this bonus is limited. It resets with the weekly update. Once this week is over, the Meth lab goes back to normal and the payouts and normal prices. That's why it's a big deal. Rockstar rarely lines up discounts and double money like this one on the same business. Missing this week means waiting potentially months for a similar opportunity. If you're new or returning to GTA Online, this is one of the best entry points into business grinding. The Meth lab pairs perfectly with the MC system, nightclub, and other passive businesses. Buying it this week puts you ahead long term, not just for the current bonus. So the bottom line is the Meth lab is 40% off to buy. The upgrades are 40% off. Nightclub meth goods are also doubled. If you already own the business, sell it this week. If you don't own it, buy it this week. If you don't have upgrades, get them this week. This is one of those rare GTA Online weeks where every move you make is profitable. This chart here clears up one of the biggest misunderstandings in GTA Online and is why so many players think the MC businesses are broken. Let's use the Meth lab as an example. A fully upgraded Meth lab does not fill quickly. With both staff and equipment upgrades installed, it roughly takes 6 hours to reach full stock, and that's assuming you're buying supplies and not stealing them. Each supply purchase costs $75,000 and takes just over 2 hours to process, which is why the Meth lab needs about 2.5 resupplies to fully fill. This is where most players get confused. They buy supplies once, log off, come back later and expect a full lab, then assume something's wrong when it isn't full. These businesses is working exactly how Rockstar designed it. It's just a long passive production cycle. The profit per hour numbers in this spreadsheet are calculated across that full 6-hour window, factoring in supply cost, production time, and final sell value. That's why these profits only apply to fully upgraded businesses using purchased supplies, not unupgraded labs or short check-in sessions. MC businesses aren't managed to be micromanaged. They're designed to run in the background while you do other content, then sell once or twice during a longer play session. And when you understand that 6-hour cycle, these payouts suddenly make sense, especially during double money weeks where the longer production time is rewarded with a much bigger final return. If this video helped clear things up, drop a like so more players can see it. Subscribe if you want more weekly guides and updates, and let me know in the comments if you're buying the Meth lab this week or if you're just cashing out on what you already own. Either way, don't sleep on this bonus because once it's gone, it's gone.